As the founder and CEO of 2000 Books, I have read over 1,500 business and self-help books. And this book, As a Man Thinketh, is one of my top 3 books of all time. I have read and reread this book over 20 times, and every time I find powerful new nuggets of wisdom from this book. It is profound. This short book was written in 1906 by British philosopher James Allen and is considered by many as the book that heralded the modern self-help movement. As a Man Thinketh is a fundamental operating manual on how to operate your mind in order to achieve your greatest goals. The first step in operating your mind the right way is this. It is your ability to manage, control, and direct your thoughts in the right direction. As Allen says, man's mind may be likened to a garden which may be intelligently cultivated or allowed to run wild. But whether cultivated or neglected, it must and it will bring forth. If no useful seeds are put into it, then an abundance of useless weed seeds will fall therein and will continue to produce their kind. As the plant springs from and could not be without the seed, so every act of a man springs from the hidden seeds of thought and could not have appeared without them. Our mind is like a garden, and the thoughts are the seeds that we plant in that garden. We must very deliberately plant the right seeds in order to get the right fruits. If we want to have a mango garden, we must plant the perfect seed and nurture that garden for as long as we want mangoes from that garden. If we neglect to plant the right seeds in the garden, well, weed will inevitably grow and take over the garden. If we neglect to nurture and take care of the garden, the mango trees will die and weed will inevitably take over and destroy the garden. Similarly, if we have a goal, we must plant the right seeds of thought in our mind and nurture that thinking till the goal is achieved. However, if we neglect to plant the right seeds of thoughts related to the goal we desire, we will end up in the weeds. We will end up going nowhere in life. If we neglect to nurture those seeds of thoughts related to the goal we desire, we will inevitably end up with a life full of weeds. We will fail. Now, here's the thing. Just like a plant cannot exist without a seed, every action and result we get in our life is a result of the thoughts we plant in our minds. James Allen says, "Let a man radically alter his thoughts, and he will be astonished at the rapid transformation it will effect in the material conditions of his life." So the question is, how is it possible to change our conditions and our circumstances using our thoughts? After all, aren't we products of our circumstances? Well, the next key to operating your mind the right way is to become a master of your circumstances. You might be wondering, how is it possible to become a master of our circumstances? Here is what James Allen says. Man is buffeted by circumstances so long as he believes himself to be the creature of outside conditions. But when he realizes that he is the creative power and that he may command the hidden soil and seeds of his being out of which circumstances grow, he then becomes the rightful master of himself. As we are going through the current global pandemic, a lot of people and businesses are struggling massively. They feel powerless because they feel that they are victims of the current circumstances. They feel they are at the mercy of those external conditions because they believe that they are the creatures of those conditions. But once you truly understand that you are the commander of your thoughts, and it is your thoughts which create circumstances, you become the master of your life. This is when you go from being a powerless, helpless victim to being a powerful person. For example, a lot of businesses are struggling as a result of the current viral outbreak and the global pandemic as a result. The American economy shrank by over 30% in the second quarter of 2020. However, in these exact same conditions, here at 2000 Books, second quarter of 2020 was our best quarter ever. Now, why is that? Well, a large part of it is because I truly believe that no matter what the external circumstances might be, I can direct my thoughts to create the reality I want. As Allen says, men imagine that thought can be kept secret, but it cannot. thought crystallizes into habit, and habit solidifies into circumstance. Our thoughts over time become our circumstances, and that is extremely empowering, my friends. Now, there is one critical element of thinking that multiplies the power of our thoughts. Without this critical element, we remain weak and we remain powerless. So, what is that element of thinking? Well, let me share with you one of my all-time favorite quotes from this book. James Allen says, "To begin to think with purpose is to enter the ranks of the strong ones who make all conditions serve them and who see every failure as a pathway to attainment." When you have a clear purpose, a clear aim, a clear goal, you have the power to make every condition serve you. No matter how difficult or challenging the external circumstances or conditions might be, you have the power to make the conditions serve you. Not only that, when you have a clear purpose or goal, you use every failure, crisis, or adversity as a pathway to achieve that goal. As the great Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius said in his book Meditations, "Our actions may be impeded, but there is no impeding our intentions and dispositions. The mind adapts and converts to its own purposes the obstacle to our acting. The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. The obstacle is the way forward." The key is that when we have a clear purpose or goal, our mind is able to convert every obstacle to our goal into the way forward towards that goal. Having a clear purpose, aim, or goal is a requirement for great accomplishment. As Allen says, until thought is linked with purpose, there is no intelligent accomplishment. Thoughts allied to purpose become a creative force. We need this creative force in order to accomplish greatly. Now, as we have been talking about harnessing the power of our thoughts to accomplish greatly, there is one element that we must not forego. Unfortunately, a lot of new age law of attraction discussion focuses on how we can attract whatever we want just with our thoughts. But that is just one half of the achievement equation. Because in order to accomplish greatly, we must not only think great thoughts, but we must be able to convert our thinking into powerful action. As James Allen says in his book, "He who would accomplish little must sacrifice little. He who would achieve much must sacrifice much. He who would attain highly must sacrifice greatly." In essence, our accomplishments in life will always be in direct proportion to the actions we take and the sacrifices we make. Right thinking will help us trigger the right action, but ultimately, all achievement comes down to action. We must act. We must sacrifice greatly in order to achieve greatly. Here is a simple achievement equation you can keep in mind. Your level of achievement is equal to powerful thoughts multiplied by purpose multiplied by action. If any of these three elements are missing, you will fail to achieve anything great in this world. Remember, there shall be no great achievement without great thoughts mixed with great purpose, the combination of which leads to great action and great sacrifices. As Allen says, the man who does not shrink from self-crucifixion can never fail to accomplish the object upon which his heart is set. When you are fully committed to your cause, when you are willing to sacrifice everything, when you are willing to die for it, you will accomplish your greatest goals. So these were just a few of the many, many great ideas I gleaned from this book. I believe that this book should be a required reading for anyone who aspires to live a great life. Now, if you would like a free PDF copy of this book, I would be happy to send it to you. Just click on the link below to grab a free copy of this powerful, life-changing book. If you enjoyed this video and learned something new from it, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more book summaries just like this one. Do something great with your life, my friends.